Hi, good night everyone. It's Tricia of Triumph with Tricia here. So this is the mini series. I got a few things to talk about. We're probably going to go for the whole week. I'll be with you for a few minutes. Today is day one. This is the brainstorming. I'm excited because I like being in creative mode and whatnot. But anyway, sometimes there's reluctance and hesitation when you're doing stuff like this. I find that it's often people fear change, and they also almost equally fear success, which is interesting because it takes time to look and think about where it is I want to go, what am I doing, how do I do it, and those things. But it's not because goal setting doesn't work. It's working. It's making you think and be accountable to some stuff. And maybe people or some people don't like that word, but it's okay. It's actually good for you. If you hear the rustling, I got my notes, I have my talking points. So in this exercise, what I'm also going to do, either in the description or in the comment section underneath, is have a link to a Google document that actually has the stuff I'm talking about here. It's not long. It's literally brainstorming. First talking point, okay, is that it really is, let me go back. The brainstorming exercise is choosing things that you want to do, that you're interested in, the goals. You could write up to 20 of them. It could be increasing your fitness level or your endurance, starting to drink water, increasing how much water you have every day, learning how to swim, taking singing lessons, vacationing more, or even taking a vacation. Financial, you want to go back to school, you want to learn a new something, a new skill, or like a new hobby, how to sew something or glue something. I don't know. What else? Did I say weight loss, personal, fitness, any of these things, right? Career as well. You want to level up in your career to get a promotion or whatever the case may be. You want to start a business of your own. You bake, you cook, you want to have a service, you want to have a YouTube channel, but oh, it's oversaturated. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not. So think about those things. It's usually you can come up with about 20 things. If there's 50 things, if there's more, write them down. Just write them. Let the creative juices start flowing. See what this is? It's like the point is to help you find balance and determine the difference between just a dream or what's actually attainable, because there's a this in between those two things. You know, what's my note say? Oh, help it. So it's like literally as we're putting the pieces of this stuff together, it's not super complicated. It's like helping to build a house structure, right? How do you do that? Brick by brick by brick. So there's some thoughts and talking points and things to be like, oh yeah, I used to say that and I totally forgot. It's going to the gym is common. I just spoke about that a couple days ago. New Year's resolutions and stuff where people are like January 1st or the 2nd they're in the gym, and then by February 1st they're like, I haven't been there for 20 days, you know. So that would actually mean you went for like 8 days and then you just fell off with the whole thing. It happens. It does happen. So for this, we're going to look at 3 key ingredients to decide what you want and to begin, and to be certain of what your goals actually are. What are they? That actually seems like a simple, I'm leaning on a chair. Sorry, I drive that way too. I'm all leaned out. It's ridiculous. Okay. Seems so simple to ask, like, or think about, what are my goals actually? What are they? But that's the first one. The second one, know why you want them. Is it to create a feeling? Is it to have a sense of accomplishment, to finish the thing that you started but for some reason wasn't able to finish, to increase your own self-confidence because it's something you didn't maybe think that you could ever do, or a place that you couldn't go. The third would be, it's very important to make sure that your goals are yours and not someone else's. Not someone else's. This is the whole point, and it's so much harder to achieve the dream if it's not even yours. Just doing something that is somebody else's can really be quite a challenge. Pardon me, and this is not about somebody else and what somebody else has said. It could be parents. I'm not saying be disrespectful. I'm not saying ignore them. What I'm saying is this exercise is for you. If you have been feeling or living in an unfulfilled way, these are some things to look at and to consider, right? So I mentioned a few things. There's a space. You could tear off a sheet of paper. You don't have to use the Google document. I just provided it if you want it. So there's lines. It can be any of these things. You want to learn how to play an instrument, do hair, how to do crochet, the actual craft crochet, or hair, who knows. Let me turn the page here, get to my talking points. This part is important. After you've written out all of your goals, all the things you brainstorm, you've come up with 25, 30 things, 50, 60 things, whatever it is, you write down the numbers 1, 3, 5, and 10 beside the goals. Number one is the purpose of this, let me say that, is to see how long you see any of these being in like your life timeline for you. So if it's a 1, that's something that you're actively working on now. 3 to 5 means it's something that you want to do. You're not actively working on it in this moment. 3 years is maybe a little bit too soon to have it done or all in the works, but in between 3 to 5 years is relatively a midterm. And then if it's more like 10 years or so, then that's a long term, and that it's long term. That's just not what's being focused on right now. But at least you have a clearer picture, and you're like, actually, this is long term to, I don't know, be a homeowner. It's a bit of a sore topic maybe. This economy it's very interesting. Moving on. Where was I? So this purpose of this is to see what direction you're going in with your life. Like, which way are you moving? And is this actually where you wanted to go? You're actually on track with the things that you were planning and wanting to do, or you know what, I need to make a hard left turn here, or a right turn, or what have you. And at the end of it, you choose the 4 goals that are the most important to you and the most impactful, and those are the ones that we being you all, are gonna focus on for the rest of this mini series and beyond. It's really important for this exercise it's important to, how can I say, really focus on those and know that this is the stuff that you want to do. It's not what society says, everybody in your environment says, or parents and significant others, spouses say that this exercise is actually for you. There's a lot of shoulds. You should do this. You shouldn't do that. You're too old to do this. You should do such as. You should. You shouldn't. You should. You should. Don't let people should all over you. I heard that once, and I just thought it was funny. But if there's a lot of should in your life, in your environment, that's something to really look at. Because where is it? If a lot of should is coming up for you, that's something to maybe wonder, why? Why is there so much should coming up in my life? Where are these ideas actually coming from? So when you know that the should is something that you should do, you feel it, you know it, you believe it, but also you haven't been doing it, that's something else to look at, right?